Hello, and welcome to Simon's Trading Channel. Happy Friday to you all. Hope you've had a good week and you're looking forward to the weekend. That means, of course, CME will close its weekly candle today. The other perpetual exchanges will not, but CME will. And, it's kind of looking a bit interesting. Might be a slightly different picture to yesterday, which is interesting. However, before I get into the details, just want to remind you all that this is not financial advice, but hopefully it'll be interesting, maybe entertaining, and a chance of it being useful too. So, right, I'm going to dive straight into it, and I already kind of have. Here you see before your eyes the current bull market on CME. And CME closes its weekly candle in about 3 hours. And I'm not a candle trader by any stretch of the imagination. I don't know if anyone actually trades candle formations. But, that if it remains as such in the next 3 hours, this weekly candle, represents an early selling pressure followed by a later buying pressure. And in the context of what is already an 8-week range, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that to me looks more positive than negative. And the reason I say that is that 8 weeks has been the common number of weeks within a consolidating range. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one's a bit more different, or a bit different, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 broke out in the 8, so kind of similar. This was the longest one, which I think was 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's about 13. I'm not counting accurately because I don't want to waste your time. And then there's this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then one more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so of the ones that broke to the upside, this did have a similar shaped candle, a hammer or whatever you want to call it. Basically, buying pressure towards the end of the week. This one, not so much. This one did. This one didn't really, and that one didn't. So I'm by no means a candle trader, but I think there were way more bearish candles that CME could have closed on for the end of this week. Let's sum it up like that. All right? Now I'm going to move on to lower time frames. I'm going to do that. I'm going to switch back to my extremely colourful chart on Bybit. And yeah, maybe I won't need those bottom lines. Maybe I won't. But I don't think Bitcoin's out of the woods yet. Yes, indeed. Here is the original range. And it's broken back in. It's broken back in a fairly impulsive manner. Wow, that was rude, I must say. It's not quite at the threshold that I, in my mind, require for continuation to the upside. And I think, I've chucked on a little trend line just to represent the lower highs. They're clearly still in place. And if what have I done with the MACD? Let's see if I can find the MACD. The MACD is nowhere to be seen. But on the 4-hour, that is still indeed with momentum to the downside, which I'll show you right now. But it's working its way back up. And I don't normally have the moving average on, but don't worry about that. You can see it will cross the zero line. That was a lot higher. This number to cross above the zero line, which is my personal switch for momentum, is now at 65, call it 65.5. And, 65.5 is close to the middle of the range. It's just below the middle of the range. It's effectively around these highs here. So it's not far away from this high here, which was where the price action was at the beginning of the week. So And as you can see, if it gets back up to that high, that area there, it would be above this trend line. And, you know, that would look good then to suggest that the thumbnail, or I think it was the description of yesterday's video, is this going to be a fake out rather than a breakout? I'm still not convinced, but there are etchings on the chart that may be the case, but I'm not convinced yet. So I just want to premise that jollity with a bit of a caveat, or caveat that jollity, not premise it. On that note, I'm going to switch down to, I won't switch down. I'm trying to get this thing moved out of the way, but it's not behaving itself. I would just like a drawing tool on. I just paused the video by accident, so there would be a big jump in what I was saying and now what I'm saying, so apologies for that. Anyway, I wanted this drawing tool here. So I've done this a few times within this range, but what I want to see as a humble trader, when it comes to my trading, I trade based off two things: trend, so uptrend, downtrend, and then areas of interest. So areas, not lines, although I draw them on the chart as lines of support resistance. Okay, so what I would like to see, if this most recent semi-impulsive price action is to continue, would be at least on a 4-hour, but ideally on a daily, would be a higher low. Okay, so as you can see on the price movement so far, he had a bit of a higher high, but then there was a lower low, lower high, lower low, and then that's where price is at the moment. So that's by definition a downtrend. For that to no longer be the case, or at least have the etchings of not being a case, you could do with a higher low. You're only really going to know that's a higher low, of course, when price gets back above the most recent high, and that one doesn't exist yet because I've just drawn it on the chart. But currently that is this sort of 64, 65-ish region. So that would look smashing for a bit more of this. What wouldn't look smashing for a bit more of that would be really price action turning down anywhere really from where it is now. But basically, if it puts in a high kind of in line with this trend line, doesn't have to be, but then also gets back below here. That is a key. So that clearly means that the trend is still pristine, and so it's your friend, and you should treat it as such. If that becomes the case, then I do stand by this dotted line here at 52,000 as a potential target for Bitcoin for more downside. If it doesn't do that and it does what I just mentioned, then it's back into the range. So it's kind of range plays again, which I'll cover if that happens. Of course, because I do a video every day. So it could come up to the trend line, and then anywhere between there and the bottom has a potential for a higher low along the lines of what I mentioned. But that's not confirmed until the price then reclaimed whatever is the current local high to where the price is at that point. I hope that makes sense. And at the moment, forward momentum is still to the downside, but it's getting closer over the last few closures. So to put a bit more flesh on the bones, I'm 9 minutes in. I can't believe I'm 9 minutes in. But let me just get rid of this, and I'll just drop down to the 15-minute time frame. Bearing in mind, CME is about to close, and price action of the weekend can be a bit variable with regards to volatility. But, whatever. Whatever. Don't know why I'm telling myself whatever. So momentum on the 15-minute it's up there. It's right up. It is right up at the moment. and price is hanging around the sort of 61.5 mark. Now, I did say in yesterday's video, 61,000, 4 hours and more would look good for more upside, but it wouldn't confirm it. So, you know, price is trying to do that. And then the hourly, which is a bit more of a, these are all super low time frames, but slightly higher time frame, is still well up and will be up, you know, it won't cross, but basically the bottom of the range is when momentum will then shift back to the downside on all the lower time frames, not just the 4 hour. So the super low time frames definitely got momentum to the upside, and that's what's produced this move up here. It's another key area, in my opinion, and so we'll see what happens over the next sort of 24 hours. Right, that's 10 minutes. I've got to shut up. I could talk for hours, but you don't want to hear that. Anyway, if you've enjoyed the video, then please like and subscribe. And if you haven't, don't come back tomorrow because I'll be doing it all again for Saturday. Okay, take care, enjoy your Friday, and I'll see you soon.